I don't think very many people have taken the time to really sit back and go, what do I want? Like, what do I want? For me, it's pretty easy to say, I'll take less money and more time.
Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog.
Here we are, another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We're the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire. And your lip gloss is
popping.
Popping.
My lip gloss is cool.
Your lip gloss is popping. We have a fun one today. It happens to be the day before St. Patrick's Day, which these actually get released quite a bit later than that. But that being said, are you feeling lucky? Dun, dun, dun. We have a framework that you actually introduced to me. You kind of said what it was. I'm like, hey, that's a framework, and we kind of filed it together. Mm-hmm. And it's this thing. There's three components of every great relationship. There's love, there's lust, and then there's life. Mm-hmm. And the love thing people seem to have, and whether somebody's in love with you or just feeling like, hey, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, there's that almost like even when you left me, you were like, I'll always love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you weren't in love with me. And then there's this lust thing where like I desire to get naked with you.
Well, I think that's how it starts off, right? When you meet someone, you lust after them. The lust turns into love.
Okay.
And with that love, you build a life.
Okay.
Right?
Ooh.
Thank you.
Say it again.
I told you I gave you all this information.
I got it. So say it again, just so the listeners at home can really hear you.
So you find someone, you're like, I'm interested. That's lust.
Okay.
Then you create love, and then you create life. And children life.
Got it.
But the whole life, what we're meaning by that is like we talk about roommate, living with each other.
Yeah.
Coexisting, picking up after yourself, the same vision in life, dreams and goals that you set together and go forward, and then building a family and having all that integrated too. That's all life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That actually can be pretty difficult because like the lust thing is okay, cool, I want to fuck her. The love thing is, wow, I like being around them, they make me feel good,
exactly.
etc. But the life is like, so you put the toilet paper roll upside down.
Yeah. I hate you now.
What the fuck's the matter with you? Or remember when you used to wake up hungover and eat cereal, and now you can't even stand me? Dude, yesterday I licked my lips.
But you kept doing it, not just the one sound. It was like, I was like, oh my God, can you stop doing that? It's like you were behind me in my ear too. So it was like,
I feel like this is the piece that... The love and the lust, obviously people hire us at Married Game to get that fired back up again. But a lot of times the reason why that fire dies is because the life fire is it's so annoying, the way people live. And I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration.
Yeah, exactly. Like you, not per se, but normal people who have relationships like in high school, right? Mm-hmm. All you feel, because you don't live with that person or you're not building a family and dreams together, all you feel is that lust and then love. So when like you're younger, you like love, like you're obsessed. Mm-hmm. And that's because nothing's getting in the way. You go home and you sleep in separate beds and you don't have all this like together. And then you see each other at school. You're like, oh my God, I missed you. Like you feel like you have so much love when you're younger. It's because all that life doesn't get in the way. And what people have to recognize is that not just lust and love is going to sustain a relationship.
You know what's coming to my mind right now?
Tell me.
And I've never thought this. So this is a hot take. This is a fresh take.
Ooh,
right
I
here.
like it.
So in the olden days, there was no cell phones. There wasn't constant contact all the time. And so they would see each other. They didn't know what they were thinking at every moment.
Yeah.
And there was some of that mystery and some of that allure. There was a missing of that person. So when they saw each other, it's like, oh, I'm so glad to see you. Yeah. How was your last month? I'm talking.
Yeah. I'm
talking Renaissance. I mean, imagine knights and maidens running around.
Wow.
Right. And And like, oh, I haven't been to the Shire in a month. You know, where's the beautiful brown-haired damsel that I got to talk to last time? Or can you sneak out of the castle for just a romp in the meadow?
Wow.
But if you think about
Exciting.
it's so exciting.
I'm going to go away for a month.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Send me a postcard. But the level of communication almost dilutes the level of passion.
Yeah, because even like our days, say if we talk so much all during the
Oh,
day.
God, you talk too much.
And then I
No,
didn't see you for an hour and you come and you're like, how's your day? I'm like,
What do you mean on my day?
I was like with you all day.
Yeah.
You know how my day was.
This
So
is
there's like nothing to talk about sometimes. Yeah.
But it's like there's a direct correlation. It's hitting me right now. The direct correlation is there's so much overstimulation and so much communication that it's like, oh, it's you again. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, I wonder what she's thinking.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on. I wonder what she's up to. I think we've missed that.
So that's why we created Marry Game Everyone.
Yeah.
Play the game.
It really is, though, because you know how we created our Disney moments? We've been doing the Disney moments for a while. And for those of you who are maybe newer to the podcast or haven't been through our coaching program, we've created something called the Disney moment. And it happened by accident, and then we're like, we got to double down on this shit. And it was simply this. Your mother lived about an hour away.
She
still lives an hour away. And you would go and you would travel to see her. Mm-hmm. You'd travel the long trek of an hour long, and you would hang out with her for a night or a weekend.
Yeah.
And you and your family, your brother, your mom, you guys would just have a great time. Mm-hmm. And I would be with Jovi, or sometimes you'd take Jovi, and I'd just be alone. Yeah. I would hang out with my boys. I would catch up on a lot of work. I got to be alone, and you got to be with your family, and we were both filling each other's buckets up because your family fills your bucket up, and I like my alone time. Yeah. And then it would cause us to miss each other. Right. And that missing of each other, it caused the longing. It was special. So we started noticing it. And then I remember laying it. I remember the exact night, the exact couch, and the exact house at the exact moment. I was high as balls, and I realized, shit, we've manufactured a Disney moment. That moment where the boy and girl meet, they fall in love. Yeah. And then they're torn apart by, adverse circumstances, and they had to fight like hell through all sorts of things to get back to each other, and then they told each other the tale of how they fought to find love again.
Sounds really dramatic when you're saying it,
but every Disney moment's like that. But what makes those Disney moments so powerful is they missed each other. So how do you create that of missing each other? And what we did, we created Disney moments.
Have like, a life.
Well, yeah, but I think that our modern day culture, it's almost like the husband and wife are like, if I'm not working, I'm with my husband and wife, and I'm with my family. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say ew, but because you do what you want. Yeah. But if you're missing the spark, if you're missing the mystery and the missingness, we've just found by purposely putting that into our life, it creates that for us. Right. And we're kind of more independent than probably a lot of couples are, but I think it's created more interdependence. Like, I'm independent and can do my thing. You're independent, you can do your thing, but it's like, oh, there's my lover. I love her.
Which is funny because we are independent, but now we work together. So that creates that nice bond too. So to be independent is kind of necessary because we're together.
Yeah, well, it makes you want to be with it. And then our favorite text, and we haven't been able to do it because we haven't created a moment like this, even though we have, but we haven't. Yeah. And it's like, I don't miss you. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, I don't miss you either.
That's so cute.
It is cute.
I know.
But it's that thing. So this is the life section. So the love and the lust, we talk about that a lot of times. But the life, or we've segmented it into soulmate and roommate.
And roommate, yeah.
And the roommate shit or the life shit is more annoying and kind of gets in the way of the other stuff more than anything. I think that's why in times of old, Romeo, when did he talk to her? Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Is that
something
no?
Like
is that what she said?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, she said it from that was their texting. But they only got to do it, once a month, once a week? I hope I could see her.
Actually, with that specific story, they never really had time to be together. So no wonder they were still in love.
So no wonder they were so in love.
Yeah. But us building a life together, I know that roommate issue gets in our way.
Yeah. What do you think our biggest roommate issue is? Other than you like being extremely territorial in the kitchen.
Well, yes, I really am. That is my area. Don't mess up my pans. Know what I mean?
God, that's so funny.
I think for a lot of people, and maybe us at one time, is having kids. That's the roommate thing because we're parenting together, right? So we have to learn how to, like, you say one thing, but I feel this way, and we have to come together and go strong together for kids, basically. And that's what a lot of people do fight about. That's like a roommate issue, a life issue.
It really
raising kids together.
Yeah, but the parenting thing can be a real thing.
Well, I know it's not now, so it's like hard to go back for us, but it was a big issue.
Well, it still is.
It's
there's been something I wanted to share with you. No, I'm kidding.
I'm great. Thank you.
No,
I think we're really good at the parenting thing now. Is we're really getting a hold and a system.
Yeah.
But when we first had Jovi, like, you never changed a diaper, you never watched her. I didn't even get to step outside with her not being attached to me like a barnacle.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
I'm laughing at the barnacle word. I'm not laughing at my report card. Okay, so
it was so bad.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is I think we're coming into probably a different stage,
Yeah.
and it might be tougher. I'll tell you why. She's now developing a little attitude, and she's developing like her ownness, and she's 8. And she's going to become a teenager.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. I think I just love the way, her attitude is like sticking up for herself.
I love it.
So I know I have to like guide her and adjust her in the more positive way of talking and saying things.
Yeah.
But the way I had to learn.
But I'm just saying these are typically very, I don't want to say troubled years, tumultuous years.
Yeah.
As girls start to become teenagers, and they start to think that, especially this tends to happen in families with abundance. Like Jovi has no idea how hard we've had to work to create the life of abundance we have, and to her it's just radically normal. Let me give you an example. Okay, so Garrett and Isla and Charlie and Jovi and I, we go to the trampoline park this last Saturday, I think. And we get there about 10 minutes before it opens. And people are starting lining up, but we're having a phenomenal conversation. And I'm always thinking what I'm thinking. I'm going to buy my way to the front of the room, and we're going to be done. And so we walk in, and there is probably 20 to 30 people in line because they're waiting outside.
Wow.
They don't know what we know. And so I walk in. You would have been so proud of Jovi, and you would have giggled to yourself. And she goes, "We're definitely not waiting in that line. Let's go to the front." Like, she already knows. She already knows.
Yeah.
And for those of you listening at home, like, how in the world did you skip the line? I just asked for the manager. Luke came out with his black polo that said Big Air, whatever. I said, "Hey, Luke, I've got a small baby with me, and we come here quite a bit. And here's $100. Can you ring us up first?" And he grabbed the $100, looked me in the eye, and he goes, "Sure, let's go. You guys already fill out your waiver?" I go, "We come all the time. We've already filled them out." He didn't recognize us, and why would he? Because there's probably 3,000 people a weekend that go through that place. But Jovi has seen us do this move so many times of just paying cash to go right to the front of the line. She probably thinks we have a tree outside that just grows money, and we just go out and pick it, and then we have it. So she's being raised in this abundant thing and doesn't understand quite yet, even though I think we're doing a phenomenal job of making her carry her own weight, earn what she does, blah, blah, blah. But that attitude in an 8-year-old, it's only going to expand and expound even more by the time she's 12, 13, 15.
Yeah.
What is your idea for what we're going to do for schooling? But go ahead. I want to talk about that in a second.
Well, we've gone way off topic,
We're
but
way
I
off
want to
topic.
respond.
But this is about
to
life.
Specifically for us and for me. I heard from the Cardones, and what they had said is they make their children a part of their business, a part of their life. And I just heard a little thing like that from them, and I was like, oh my gosh. So when we tell Jovi things like, we have to travel. Can you be a good girl? That helps us. So help, bring them, pull them into. With Adrian, she's 16, our niece who lives with us. I say by you helping and watching Jovi allows us to do what we can do so we can all benefit. So you let them know those things. Then they feel like they're a part and with you together as a family, and it takes all of us to do what we do. On schooling, we have her in a Montessori school. It goes up to 6th grade. Then I'm pulling her out, not putting her in with other students or people to influence and undo the hard work that we have done. So she'll travel with us, see what we do hand in hand. And by that time, she's more mature. I don't need to be like, here's your iPad, So she'll see exactly what we do, and she'll be a part of it and with us, and no other influence during the show and tell years. So I'm gonna pull her out during that time.
And have her work with us and
teach her, be a part of,
teach her real life.
Exactly.
Which unfortunately, a lot of kids aren't learning about real life. They're learning about the crazy stuff.
So that's my plan for her.
Okay,
I'm so excited.
So that's the life part. So the love and the lust is one part. The life part is, I'm so glad you're not a slob.
Oh no, quite the opposite.
I would hate you if you were a slob. I would it's people who are dirty and slobby and leave shit everywhere. I have a hard time respecting them.
Well, not that your ex-wife was a slob, but that is something that you guys fought about, right?
Yeah.
So that feels funny to even say on here.
It does feel
I know,
funny.
but that is what you guys fought about.
Yeah.
Not probably everything, but something.
Yeah. It was I just didn't understand why you didn't want it clean.
Yeah.
Now there was 3 toddlers running around, so maybe it was a little different than having one perfect little baby.
Yeah.
But okay, so we've got the lust, we've got the love, we've got the life, and I think a lot of times that life part isn't going so well, that the love and the lust take a back seat.
Absolutely.
What I also see where people in their life, and sometimes we even fall in this, and I'm like hyper aware of this, and really got to go, well, wait a second. Even in all the good shit that we're doing, saving marriages, teaching men how to stand up for themselves and be the best version of themselves, even that can consume our time where we're not getting enough one-on-one time. And I'm like really hyper aware of it, because like I dreamed about this my whole life. I wanted just to have a hot chick that loved sex, that loved me, that wanted to do cool shit. Like that, to me, that guy was the richest. That was the richest man alive.
Yeah.
And I do feel like the richest man alive. Even though we're not the richest people alive, in this regard, this is what I wanted. This was my dream. And I don't want to ever sacrifice that dream for something else. For what, a bigger house, what, a nicer car? Like that alone, that shit would be gay. You know what I mean? That would be gay. By the way, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. When we said the word gay, it means we didn't like it.
Lame.
Now I know that there's a bunch of gay people, and I got a bunch of gay friends, and I think they're cool as shit. So anyway, if you're offended by that word, then you're on the wrong podcast. Cancel me, bitch. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
just who cares?
I don't.
Yeah.
But the fact that people would take offense to certain words, it's just
But they do, and it's fine.
Yeah, but that's our culture being smashed and people taking away our right to speak whatever the hell we want. Yeah. Anyway,
I just don't know how that word turned into that when it was a happy word.
Gay. Dude,
meant happy.
You remember the Flintstones?
So that's probably why old generation was like said gay, and then it turned into gay as lame. Like, how does that happen?
I think the reason why homosexuals were called gay, I'll tell you why. This is the truth. Is heterosexual men got married and experienced what 85 to 90% of men go through. They start not having sex, they're not having fun. And then they see these 2 dudes get married, and they're having the happiest time ever. They're like, look, it's the gays. What do you mean? The happy ones.
I always say, if this relationship doesn't work out, I'm fully being with a woman. I'll be so happy. She cooks me breakfast. We go shopping.
That is so funny. So that's and we have some of the coolest gay friends, I think, ever. Definitely. And so
off topic again.
Off topic, man. This is fun. So the life part, like, dude, I hear some guys, they are glorified taxis. You know what? It's really sad. I talked with one this morning, and he works shifts, and he does. I'm not gonna say what he does, but he works in shifts at nights, and comes home, and he's like, man, I feel like we're just kind of passing each other by, and it's so heartbreaking to me, because it's like, that wasn't the dream.
Yeah.
The dream wasn't to marry this woman that you couldn't keep your hands off of, only to, in 5 years, literally, you never touch her, you never see her, you never hang out. It's like, what's
They're
an
just
interesting
surviving.
Well, yeah.
Not thriving.
Yeah. That shit is lame.
That is lame.
And yet most guys fall into that trap. They're like, okay.
So the world's like that.
It really is.
I know.
But we're saying there's a better way.
Absolutely.
We're saying there's a different way. And it is a little harder at first, because you're not used to it. Man, my heart's beating right now, because I feel so sad, because I've fallen into that trap. We got out of it. I see a lot of guys fall into that trap where they're literally so busy trying to make a living that they really don't even live life. And I know that's a cliche statement, like, don't be so busy making a living that you don't enjoy life.
It's true.
But it is true. And it's like, people don't even understand. And I hate this, man. It makes me so angry. Actually, I'm feeling anger right now, because this thing that we have been created to do, and that is to love, be here for each other, masculine energy and feminine energy coming together, and there's this dance that when you nail it, there's nothing greater. Like, you're
gonna step on a couple toes here and there.
Why?
During the dance of the feminine.
I thought you were saying, like, what I'm
energy.
saying is step on toes.
Oh,
like,
no,
I don't.
no. I'm just saying, during your dance, you're gonna step on toes.
Of course. But that even makes, when you're dancing the right way, even more fun, even more exciting, even more better. And yet, I don't know if it's from propaganda, indoctrination, schooling, or all of that, has literally made most American men and women so tired, so overwhelmed, that a lot of them are just exasperated and said, I don't even have time for a good relationship.
That's sad.
It really is, man. And maybe I'm having a moment right now, because I'm like, wow, what we're actually saying is trying to wake people up and going, hey, there's a better way. And whatever this shit that's been sold to you about working so much and running kids around, like, we have people running kids to and from sports, barely even spending time with each other.
It's funny, when they have kids, they start living their kids' life and just doing everything for them, when they forget to live their own life. So what's your tip on, when we said lust, love, and life, what's your tip on the life part? How do you make the life part go better, smoother?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, there's a lot of tips we can say, but I had said one earlier was communication. And I think I say that for like everything, because that's where it starts. People forget to start communicating.
Yeah.
And saying, this is, I want to do this. This is a non-negotiable. And I know they start off that way, but things change, right? Or with kids, or life, or jobs, or moving situations.
I think, and I don't know that anybody's going to like this answer, but I don't know of a more true one. So I have to say it.
Let me hear it.
I don't think very many people have taken the time to really sit back and go, what do I want? Like, what do I want? For me, it's pretty easy to say, I'll take less money and more time to be with you. I get asked to do a lot of things, and I say no to quite a few things, because, I could make more money, but it's like, but then what?
But why? Yeah.
Be away from Jesse and Jovi? Like, that is my life. Like,
No, totally.
I would much rather for us to just walk down to the beach and goof off for a few hours than go make a couple more bucks.
Exactly.
That's, and I can hear somebody going, well, yeah, that's easy for you, say.
Well, we had to learn that ourselves in our relationship.
Yeah.
In our life.
Yeah.
We literally, that's why we say it now.
But I think most people, so the tip is, most men have never said, what do I really want? And most men are distracted by things they do not want. And so it's harder to actually say no than to say yes in a lot of situations. We say no. People invite us to date nights and we do this cool stuff. I'm like, no, we've got plans, and those plans are us being together. Our plans are connecting. So I think the tip is for a guy to get really honest with about what does he want. And the pressure in society says, well, you have to make a lot of money. You have to do a lot of these things. And while that might be true, it's at what cost? I know a lot of very powerful men, and a lot of very powerful men trust me with their shit, like with their issues that they're going on in their family, with their wife or their kids. And a lot of them have come to the conclusion that, shit, man, like more stuff is me trying to get more stuff is actually me feeling my worthiness, trying to feel worthy in this world, as opposed to once you feel worthy, it's like, well, yeah, that stuff doesn't really tempt me anymore.
Yeah.
For the simple reason of then I would have to give up what I really, really like. And I don't think a lot of men are there. And I know that a lot of men are not there because a lot of men confide in me and they go, man, you don't seem swayed by a lot of things that a lot of guys are swayed by, and you just seem kind of content with your thing. I was like, well, dude, I had to learn that. That wasn't easy. And it was me pushing against societal norms. Now, have we made a lot of money? Yes. And you know what? The more money I make, the more focused I get and the less things fall off. I have discovered this notion, and this is really helpful in the life thing. The more I say no to and the less distractions I get involved in, the more I'm able to focus on the couple of things that matter. And the more money I make, the more love I make, the more moments I get to be with Jovi. And as a man, saying no to some of those other things, it's extremely hard for me to say no.
Yeah.
Probably my fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Probably
I definitely get FOMO too.
Yeah, my desire to be up in the mix because I know people like me, and so it feels rather validating to be like invited to certain things. But when it boils right down to it, I had to get really clear on what I wanted, and I know what I wanted. And for me to find out what I wanted, I had to go back to what did my 15-year-old, 14-year-old version of me. And I remember, it's why I say it a lot, even though I know it's a silly story. But when I was leaving Salt Creek, the beach that we live here, when I was making that bend on PCH, I was 14 years old. I was in Tom Hughes' Bronco with Aaron Hughes and Toz Collins. And I remember making that turn right where the Warrior HQ is in Coastal Kitchen. Right when we were turning there, I thought, man, if I could find a girl that loved having sex and was hot as shit, but was like one of the dudes, that's all I want. Like, that's what I want. Now that we're back here, I've had to get really honest and go, like, that is all I want. Yes, I like making a lot of money because I like living a quality of life that I like the smell of leather.
Money gives you options.
Money gives you options, and those options are a hell of a lot better than no money.
Yes.
And frankly, I was created to create. And if I'm not creating, then I feel depressed.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to create, I want to create value. Right? So I had to get really honest with what I wanted. And that was, I want my best friend, which is you.
You're my boy, Blue.
And I've experienced losing you. So a lot of my friends who have not lost their family, they'll ask me, moments of like honesty, they'll be like, dude, like, what is it? Why aren't you pulled by this stuff? I go, oh, I used to be, radically. But I had my heart tore out of my chest and fucking stomped on the ground from what I did. I've watched the family drive down. I literally remember going, fuck, it's it.
Yeah.
So I don't want that ever again. And because I've tasted that, I know how bad it tastes. So even though I warn a guy of this, and even though I'll tell them this, most men have to figure it out themselves. And so I don't know if us sharing this is actually going to help anybody, because a lot of dudes have to figure out themselves. And for me, I had to figure it out myself. Like, I probably was told by a shit ton of guys, oh, dude, you know, don't give up your family for this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's true.
I'm not saying it's not.
That's so true.
I'm not saying
all
it's
your
not.
friends, same.
Yeah. So
you got a good one, and you're like,
yeah, I can get another one.
Yeah.
Well, you
Go
can
ahead.
get it. You
try it.
But I think so the life part is I had to figure out what I really wanted and then be true to that and be around other dudes that's not what they wanted, and be okay with that and not be influenced by it and be like, oh, you want to go do that? Go for it. Like, that's amazing. And so I think the life tip is, if I could urge and beseech the gentleman here, and I'm going to look to the camera now, if I could beseech you on anything, it is get extremely clear on what you really want. And then don't settle for anything less, and don't be distracted by anything else. Because the truest riches in life are experiencing what we have. And I've experienced everything else. So here, if you're looking to me, if I'm older than you or I have an uncly vibe to you, then pull up the chair and let me tell you what old Uncle Redwood would say. It's this. Having sex with a bunch of random chicks is a lot of fun. But it doesn't compare to having sex with the one chick that you love more than anything else, and she loves being with you. On a scale, it's very opposite. Now, some of you guys might be like, well, fuck that. I'd like to see. Because there's always the person that says, riches aren't going to make you happy. Like, yeah, it's easy to say you're rich. Well, I get that. But if you can hear my words, take heart that having a bunch of random sex is not even close to as fun and as fulfilling as having sex with somebody that really wants to be with you. Second thing, your kids grow up extremely fast. How do I know? Because I got a 24, 22, and 21-year-old. I don't see the 24, 22, and 21-year-old that often anymore. We do communicate, we text and stuff, but of course, they're living their life. They're doing their thing. And so if you think, yeah, I'll get to that tomorrow, don't ever say that to yourself, because tomorrow comes a lot faster than you think. And your influence, gentlemen, on your kids is so impactful. Do not let this world tell you otherwise. Do not let this world and the TV and the propaganda and all the bullshit say that, Dad, you're not that important. You are extremely important, just as a presence of being who you are in their life. So important. So if I could urge you and beseech you that all this other shit looks shiny, I'm not saying it's fool's gold, but I am saying it's not as rich as you think by going these other things. So that would be my life tip.
Wow.
And that's not the tip. I gave him the whole thing balls deep.
Oh my God.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I love
all right,
it.
We'll save all our other good stuff for another podcast.
Yeah, we were all over the place.
Yeah,
here.
we were all over the place. Thank you for going on the journey with us.
Yeah.
Man, super grateful. I'm grateful for you as a partner as well, because you've been through all this with me. And you also understand. So even when you get really frustrated, you know where my heart's at.
Yeah.
And that is my heart. That's my North Star.
That's a great tip as well, is that when I know that we're in a tiff or something, you don't come from a negative space. You're on my side. Mm-hmm. So I have to remember that. And it keeps me going, and I won't be as angry.
Yeah. That feeling of teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh my God. You are so full of those.
I'm full of it today. Hey, listen, guys, if you love this show, share it. We are not running ads. I heard this just because I don't like being that guy that pretends like he started something. I start and say a lot of unique shit. I know it because it comes from in here, and everyone's like, well, where'd you get that? From my heart, motherfucker. From my heart. My heart. And I'm not going to say a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit. It's bullshit. But I listened to a guy by the name of Andy Frisella. I listened to his podcast, and I heard this from him. He said, I don't run ads. This is on a value-based system. If you got a lot of value, share. And he's grown his podcast word of mouth. And I heard that, and I go, that resonates with me.
That's cool.
That resonates with me. And while we have had people who do want to pay us for ads, not that much, because we're not as big as some of these other big podcasts. Yeah, but if you did love this show, if you did love what you heard, share the show. That's how we want to grow. And I tell you that all the time. There's no bones about my desire to grow this show, because I think the stuff that we're saying is A, different, B, better, and C, actually extremely valuable. If you apply what we're talking about in your life, you'll get to experience the same types of stuff that Jesse and I experienced. So if you love the show, if you really truly found value of it, you know what they say? Don't be a hoe, share the show.
Oh my God.
So we're not going to...
Sorry, everyone.
We're not going to steal their show. We're not going to steal their line. But I'm determined to come up with a good one that is as good. I don't have one off the tip of my tongue. You're
usually pretty good at
I'm going to start thinking about one. It's something about blowjob and something, but I don't. What, you act shocked. All right, listen.
Just came out of nowhere, though.
Share the show. We gotta go.
Just go.
All
Share
right.
the show.
And, as always, keep crushing it. That shit's contagious.